Good morning, everyone. I, Gauri Tiwari, presenting here on the case Corporate Accounting Scandal at Satyam Computer Service Limited, a case study of India's Enron. With my team, Akash Gupta, Avinash Mishra, Manvi Jain, Palvi Chhashre, Shilpi Agarwal, and Angela Khan. Next slide, Akash. Now, firstly, we will talk about the introduction of the company. That what is Satyam Computer Service Limited? Basically, Satyam Computers were founded in 1987 in Hyderabad, and the company was also converted into public limited company in 1991. Company offers various consulting and IT services, which is was spanned to various sectors, and our company was fourth largest company with high profile customer. The network of the company covers 66 countries and 53,000 employees across six continents. And company was also listed in BSE, that is Bombay Stock Exchange, NSE, that is National Stock Exchange, and NYSE, that is New York Stock Exchange. Ramalinga Raju was a founder of the company, and he was its chairman until 7 January 2009 when he resigned from Satyam board after admitting corporate fraud. Next slide, Akash. Now we'll talk about various achievements of the company before scam. Company won various corporate awards in innovation, accountability, and corporate governance. In 2007, company became first Asian company uh, to, to feature in the training magazines by a list of 125 companies for learning. And also in 2007, company won Entrepreneur of the Year award. In 2008, company won corporate governance, including Golden Governance Award twice. And in September 2018, World Council for Corporate Governance awarded company from Golden Peacock Award for Global Excellence in Corporate Accountability. And also in this year, company crossed the revenue up to 2 billion. Apart from these awards, company adopted various strategies to compete effectively, compete against domestic and global competitors. And company was also a leading rising star and recognizable name in IT market. Next slide, Akash. Now basically we will understand what is this scam about. This scam is totally about corporate governance and fraudulent activities and auditing practices, which is done with the help of chartered accountants and auditors. And it is fraud which misled the market and other stakeholders and became massive accounting fraud by lying about company's financial health. And the company also misrepresented its account to its board, stock exchanges, regulators, investors, and all other stakeholders, which leads to fraud of $1.4 billion, that is in rupees 7,800 crore, by manipulating the company's account for a number of years. If we talk about the people behind the scam, then the main people involved in the scam was Ramalinga Raju itself, who was the CEO of the company, B. Ramaraju, who was managing director of the company, and he was also brother of Ramalinga Raju. V. Srinivas, who was ex-chief financial officer of the company. And the last person involved in this scam was S. Gopalakrishnan, who was the auditor of PricewaterhouseCoopers. Thank you. That's all from my side. Now, Pallavi will continue the slide. Over to you, Pallavi.
Thank you, Gauri. First of all, good morning, everyone. Good morning, ma'am. This scam, Satyam scandal, the Satyam Computer Services scandal was a corporate scandal affecting India-based company, Satyam Computer Services, in 2009. Initial confession of the uh, chairman of Satyam Computers. On January 7, 2009, the chairman of Satyam Computers, Mr. Ramalinga Raju, confessed and disclosed in a letter that the company has falsified and also he had manipulated the accounts for many years. He said that he made some changes in Satyam balance sheet as he overdue the assets by 1.47 billion dollar and about 1.04 billion dollar as bank loan and cash. Second, fake invoices and bills. The day Mr. Raju came out with his dramatic long confession, he also disclosed in the letter that fake invoices and bills were being created using software applications. Mr. Raju, with the company's head of internal audit, used different techniques to carry out the fraud. He also said that he created a lot of bank statements to advance the fraud. Also, he created not only 100 or 200, but also he created 6,000 fake salary accounts over the past few years. Also, create fake customer identities and generate fake invoices against their name. All this was done to boost their revenue. Other than this, the auditor also simulated board resolutions and obtained loans through this for their company, and their work was fully unethical. As we can also see in exhibit 2, it is clearly mentioned that the balance sheet of September 2008, rupees 5,361 crore was shown in cash and bank balance in the book, but the actual cash and bank balance was only 5,040 billion crore 40 crores, sorry, 40 crores, and and accrued interest of rupees 376 crore, which is inflated. Also, understated liability of rupees 1,230 crores was 30 crores, and overstated debtors of rupees 490 crores was written as 2,651 crores in the books. Similarly, many other changes were made in the books by him. He also said that in the last 8 years, neither he nor the managing director sold any shares. Also, in last 2 years, the amount of rupees 1,230 crores was arranged to Satyam and not recorded in the books. The next point is investigation agencies. The former chairman of SEBI, the former chairman of SEBI 2012, Mr. Damodaran, said that Satyam scandal is a case of negligence of fiduciary duties, which is totally collapse of ethical standards and a lack of corporate social responsibilities. It is also it is human greed and desire for money to become powerful, success in prestige and led to fraud. In December 2008, the Satyam Computers total market capitalization was 3.2 billion dollar, and according to Indian Crime Investigation Agency, the CBI, the fraud activity before April 1999 is when a company enters in a double-digit annual growth. Thank you. This is all from my side. Next, Angela will continue.
Thank you, Pallavi. First of all, good morning to one and all present here. Now, I would like to, Akash, please change the slide.
Please go ahead.
Now, I'd like to tell about Mehta's Infrastructure and Mehta's Property. Mehta's Infrastructure Limited, it is a leading infrastructure development and construction project management company for $300 million. Satyam Board announces the decision to buy 51% stake, in which Raju had a 37% of share, and he also had a 35% of share in Mehta's Properties, which is another real estate investment firm. On 30th on December 16, 2008, Mehta's Infra and all of their Mehta's properties were owned by and is owned by promoters family of Satyam for 1.6 billion, and the World Bank banned Satyam for 8 years from doing any of its work, and it is found that Satyam's employees had hacked into its system and was unable to provide any sort of information. information. Now, my second point is understanding the scam and whistleblowing. On 7th January 2009, the Satyam Computer Services scandal took place when the company's chairman, Mr. Ramling Raju resigned and confessed that to having falsified the company's account. And after informing its board members and the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, on 30th September 2008, Raju confessed that the Satyam balance sheet contains some irregularities. As we can see in table on page number 33, he faked some figures, and there's a difference between there's a difference of rupees 5040 crores of non-existent inflated cash and bank balances, as against rupees 5361 crore reflected in the books. Second is an accrued interest of rupees 376 crore, which is also non-existent. Third is as understated liability of rupees 1230 crore on account of funds arranged by Raju. And last is as an overstated debtors position of rupees 490 crores. In September also, Raju accepted that Satyam had a reported revenue of rupees 2700 crores and an operating margin of rupees 649 crores, as against the actual revenue of rupees 2112 crore and an actual operating margin rupees 61 crore, in which 3% of revenue. This has resulted in artificial cash and bank balances going up by rupees 588 crores. Now, my last point is promoters shareholding. Raju was siphoning the money from Satyam to Mehta's, as he want to fill the gap between the marginal gap between the actual operating profit and the one which was reflected in the books of accounts. And Raju wanted to buy Mehta's to cover up Satyam's inflated cash, as the last attempt to fill the fictitious assets with the real ones failed. As Raju, who showed artificial cash on his books, had planned to use non-existent cash also to acquire the two Mehta's firms, Mehta's Infra and Mehta's Properties, as a part of their tunneling strategy. As we can see in table on page number 34, Satyam's promoters had reduced their holdings in company from 25.6% in March 2001 to 8.74% in March 2008. As the promoters held a very small percentage of equity, merely around 2.18% on December 2008. Basically, the concern is all about the poor performance, which will result in a takeover bid. It was like riding a tiger, not knowing how to get off without being eaten. Basically, Satyam scandal is all about accounting scandal, or we can say that accounting fraud, which totally affect on various accounting and financial statement, as desperate efforts would be taking to cover up the accounting fraud, by enter some real assets into the business. At last, when all the efforts and perspective were failed, Raju confessed the fraud, and the auditors, the bankers, SEBI, and the market watchdog were all blamed for their role in accounting fraud. That's all from my side. Now, Akash will continue. Over to you, Akash.
I am going to show you auditor roles and factors contributing to the fraud. PwC, which is Price Waterhouse Coopers, was founded in the year 1998 and headquarters based on London. PwC audited the Satyam's book from June 2000 until the discovery of the fraud. PwC faced various criticized because it can't detect the fraud. PwC audited the Satyam's books nearly 9 years and not even find the fraud going behind it. There will be two possible reasons. Either PwC involved in this fraud, or uh, the auditor are unskilled. And Satyam also paid PwC twice for the audit, and after disclosing the fraud in the public, the Indian arms of the PwC was fined about $6 million by the SEC, which is U.S. Securities and uh, Exchange Commission. And second is factors contribute to the fraud. First, corporate growth in the stock market. Beginning of January 2003, the share price of the Satyam has been increased from 138 to 526.25 per share, which is a significant growth of the corporate as well as the stock market. Since this is the India biggest accounting fraud, it impacts many things. So Shilpi will be showing you how this fraud impacts the India economy as well as the people. Shilpi, over to you.
Now I would like to continue on the impact and the consequences of this scam. The first impact was seen on the share price and market. When we look at the stock chart of Satyam from December 2008 to January 2009, we can see that they have faced various ups and downs. From the beginning, if we see the share in January 2003 that was recorded was 138.08 INR, which shows an improvement of 300% in nearly 5 years, which was because of the corporate growth and the shareholders' value. The highest share price that was recorded was 544 rupees in March 2008. But when the Ramalinga Raju confessed about the fraud, that he has manipulated the income statement and the balance sheet, because of that, the share price fell to 11.50 rupees. And in 2001, the Satyam was listed in New York Stock Exchange. So they were trading in March 2008. They were trading at 29.10. But when the scam was revealed, it came to at 1.80 US dollars. It not only impacted not only impacted the stock market, but also impacted the investors too. And the Sensex also fall more than by 5%. The second point is the termination of engagement. Merrill Lynch was a financial advisor who was appointed on 28 December in order to review the strategies in order to increase the shareholders' value. But Merrill Lynch realized that whatever the company was showing was totally different from what the company's number was showing. So, in his letter of board, he said that he has confidence that they will stand with the company, but Merrill Lynch terminated its services. The third point is the reappointment of the board of directors. After the scam was revealed, the new board members were elected, and the board members wanted to save the company from a complete failure. So they started meeting the bankers, the authorities, and they also hired the Goldman and Ventus Capital and made them in charge to sell the company. The fourth one was the acquisition by Mahindra. After the board members were selected and between the auction process, it has gained some confidence in Satyam's operation. So the bid takes place on 13 April 2009, and the Tech Mahindra purchased it on 1.13 per share. The last one is the global image. The global image, the Indian government was more stressed on what was going on, how it was influencing the whole nation. Now, I would like to invite Manvi to explain further.
Thank you, Shilpi. Now I am telling about investigation, criminal civil charges and victims investigation. The investigation that followed the fraud had led to charges against several group of people involved with Satyam. Indian authority arrested Mr. Raju and his brother, its farmer MD Srinivas, the company head of internal audit CFO, on criminal charges of fraud. Indian auditors also arrested and charged several of the companies auditors PwC with fraud. ICAI ruled that the CFO and the auditors were guilty of professional misconduct. Now, main victims are employees, non-payment of salaries, project cancellation layout in many ways, morally, financially, legally, and socially. Clients, expected loss of trust and repute their contract. Shareholders lost their valuable investment, and there was doubt about revival of India. Bankers were conduct about recovery of financial and non-financial exposure and recalled facilities. Indian government worried its image of the nation and IT sector affecting faith to interest or to do business in the country. Please change the slide, Akash. The next main point is corporate governance issued at Satyam failed to show good relation with the shareholders and employees. CG issue, non-fulfillment of obligation of the company towards the various stakeholders. Shareholder never had the opportunity to give their concern. Shareholder were at loss and felt to cheated. That's all for my side. Thank you. Now Abhinash will be continued. Over to you, Abhinash.
I will tell you about the lesson we have learned from the Satyam scandal. First, investigate all inaccuracies. Fraud at the Satyam scandal was at a very small, eventually grown to $76 million. Small changes in the financial statements are less likely to discovered and overlooked. A lot of companies got a message that every irregular in the financial statement should be checked properly, and dividing responsibilities among the team of people make it easier to detect fraud. Next point, my ruined reputations. Uh, Fraudulent financial reporting does not only have bad consequences for an organization but also the country. This type of fraud will make future foreign investor think twice before investing in this type of country. After this scandal, the value of the rupee fell. White collar crime like these do not only the company look bad, but also the industry and the country. Now, next, my point: better corporate governance. Corporate governance is a combination of rules, process, or laws by which a business is operated. The board of directors is the person who sets the tone of the company. So all the companies should be carefully before closing the top executives. Splitting of the role can save you from the type of situations. The corporate governance framework needs to be implemented in the letter as well as spirits. Thank you, ma'am.